right now. We've got Pudgy Pizza, 4 cylinders back, taking the green flag, and it's going to be Brandon Amy taking that early race lead, taking it outside starting spot, and he's out in front. Over in turn number 2, Brandon sweeping around the high side of Frank Morich as well. Morich tries to battle back on the inside, but Jeff Amy's in second with Morich in third.
Well, these three have been the story in the 4-cylinder class this year, and probably the bigger story is the perfect attendance in victory lane for the Amy brothers. And of course, the pressure's on for Brandon tonight to kind of tie his younger brother Jeff's performance level here. But you talk about performance, there it is right there. You talk about parity in a class. They're separated by about 2 car lengths each, and that's how they've run. Qualifying and features, great parity in the class, although the car in the middle, what do you see with, or the car that's trailing, what do you see with the front of the other two?
Well, what we did find out from last week, when we saw all the smoke coming out of Jeff's 10X, we said, how the heck did you keep that thing going without blowing it up? And first of all, it was just that driving in this car. Part of it was how the engine was put together, so they went back to the engine builder and said, hey, what the heck are you doing to us? And I don't see a whiff of smoke out of that thing, but Brandon's leader at halfway. 3 down, 3 to go. Brandon Amy in the plain 10, Jeff Amy, smaller numbers. He's got a big red X on there. He's the 10X. And Frank Morich in the 94.
Well, this time by, the sticks are up in the air. Gary Falk will give the indication there's 2 laps remaining. There's been no change. Amy, and Morris is how they're running into turn number 1, and they're all running the same line on the racetrack pretty much. So it looks like Jeff's just taking a little peek upstairs, but Brandon leads the way into turn number 3.
Challenge for the lead coming out of turn number 4. Jeff Amy cut the wheels to the left, got down inside of Brandon. Brandon up high, Jeff down low, side by side. There are the brothers over in turn 2. Coming off the turn, and Brandon Amy will pull away from Jeff once again. Position down for the checkered flag. Frank Morich going to give a challenge for second. Oh, here comes Jeff once again. Got ahead of the team coming off of turn number 4. But does he have the time? No. And Brandon will come away with the win. Jeff Amy finishes in second. Frank Morich finishes in third for Brandon Amy. Guys, we're underway, and John Wilbur already trying to give Tyler Ripkema a push down into turn number 1 to help him through the turn. Frisbee battling back on the outside. 3-car battle for the lead as they go down the backstretch heading into turn number 3. Frisbee up high. Ripkema down low. Ripkema stays in the throttle. He's going to pull off and take that first spot, opening the inside lane for Wilbur. Wilbur now challenging Frisbee for second as they exit turn 2.
Well, the chrome car displaying a little bit of chrome horn application on that opening lap. John Wilbur, as you said, hungry to finish on top here tonight. Runner-up many, many times in his career. He swoops to the inside of Ripkema, finds nothing there up in turn number 1. He'll go back to work off turn number 2. He's getting a run off turn number 2. He's to the inside of Ripkema, but he did have to back off. Wasn't quite up to that where the door would be if there was a door on these machines. So lap number 3 complete.
Well, Tyler Ripkema under the tutelage this year of Tony Hamberry. He's going to school from Lightning, plus his dad, pretty good modified shoe himself. And here comes Wilbur challenging the youngster down to the inside, but Tyler Ripkema able to stay with him up high. Wilbur down low, and it's going to be John Wilbur at halfway. John Wilbur taking the top spot away from Tyler Ripkema. Jeff Frisbee still in the 3rd spot. Curtis Cowles in 4th, and in 5th, Chris Clemens. They continue their battle down the backstretch as John Wilbur pulls out a 3-car length advantage over Tyler Ripkema. It's now 5 laps down, 3 to go. It's Wilbur, Ripkema, and Frisbee in turn 1.
And nothing has changed there with the exception of a little bit of a bigger gap between John Wilbur. What a beautiful car that is. If you've not been up close and personal with that one, you'll want to make a point to do so with all the military tributes on that one. 2 laps to go, 6 in the books. 2 remaining. There's been no change among the top 3. Curtis Cowles still sitting there in 4th. Matt Clemens rounding out the field.
So a 3-car dance up there in the top 3 spots, all separated pretty evenly by about 3-car lengths each as the white flag is out. No need to really push it too hard as the top 3 will be re-handicapped for the feature. They go down off of turn number 2, John Wilbur. Trying to show his dominance as he's, again, been Mr. Consistency this year.
4 second-place finishes out of 6 events. He takes the checkered flag with Tyler Ripkema finishing second, Frisbee finishing in third, Cowles finishes in fourth, and Clemens finishes in the 5th spot. And for John Wilbur, he is the Sportsman points leader. That's his 3rd heat race win of the season. And so they're lined up side by side, bumper to bumper, rub rail to rub rail over there in turn number 3 and 4. Papa John showing them that that's the start, no start zone, and green flag out. We are underway. And Zach Curran, he got out there in some hot laps. Let's see how that car got put back together. Of course, this day and age, they put him on these special jigs, special frames, and pretty much can put everything back exactly the way it was. He was very fast until he got turned there 2 weeks ago. And it's going to be Zach Curran with the top spot, Tom Shiner in second, Finichario in third, and Clemens running there in the 4th spot.
Well, we said it in prior weeks that the Currans made the commitment to purchase a new car for Zach this year. Certainly a talented driver. He's made his way up from the 4-cylinder junior division many years ago up to the Sportsman Modifieds, and Zach leading the way over Shiner, and it's about half a dozen car lengths or so. The gap between the front 2 machines. Finichario, not sure he's been here, Tom. I know he's been at a lot of other tracks, but I don't recall that he's been here to Shangri-La too.
No, I talked to Chris when he came into the pits tonight. He has never run here, but he knows Tony. They're friends, and Tony's been trying to get him to come on down here and run, so he did. And it's going to take him a while, but I think Chris, looking at him and talking to him, he'll get this figured out pretty quickly, especially if he's getting some advice from Kid Lightning there, Tony Hamberry.
Well, he's a good one to take advice from because he's a winner wherever he goes. Field just got the halfway indication from Gary Folk, so 4 laps complete this time by. Number 5 will go up on the board. And Zach, each lap now, has been able to pad his lead over the Shiner machine. Finichario still running in 3rd, Clemens in 4th.
Six down, parallel flag showing just 2 laps to go. And Zach Curran on cruise control right now because he's got a goal in mind tonight. He's only 22 points out of the lead, looking for his first heat race win of the season as he takes it down into turn number 3. Looking at the white flag from Chief Starter Gary Folk Jr. is Zach Curran in the 94. He continues to pull away from Tom Shiner, the veteran out of Vespo, doing a good job, but no match right now. We'll see what changes that Shiner makes once they get him back to the pits. But coming off of turn number 4, checker flag is out. First heat race win of the season for the 94 of Zach Curran. Tom Shiner finishes in the 2 spot. Chris Finichario, for his first time out in competition, finishes 3rd. Matt Clemens will come across the line in 4th. As they go down into turn number 3, looking for the green flag in this 8-lap heat, it's Billy Coyle and Scott Nurmi, the front row.
And Gary Folk Jr. looking them over, and right away the 11 of Deneen took a peek downstairs, but came back up, and he'll go back to work. And it looks like Gary not happy with the front row, so caution coming out. We will try to get this underway one more time. Well, our front row much more in alignment, and that probably should be a good start. And it's real good if your name is Mr. Nurmi. It's not so good. Not so good for Jim Lamro. I didn't happen to see what happened up there, but he has stopped up there. The caution come out, and the
Nurmi and Coyle going after each other again. We take a look at them coming off of turn number 4. They're side by side, wheel to wheel, green flag out. Here we go. And they are wheel to wheel down to turn number 1. Nurmi trying to take advantage on that high groove, keeps the RPMs up. Here comes Billy Coyle right back at him on the inside, first 2 rows, 2 by 2 down to turn number 3.
And Joe Brown on the outside of Jerry Deneen. They're side by side for positions 3 and 4. Scott Nurmi's going to lead the first lap with Billy Coyle second. Now they're single file into turn 1. A lot of caution coming out now. Incident here involving Brad Smales, Josh Lloyd, and Dave Schneider. Well, we'll try one more time to see if we can get some laps run in this ASA late model feature event. Scott Nurmi leading Jerry Deneen off turn number 2 into 3. Billy Coyle hanging on to position number 3. Jim Lamoureux in 4th. Joe Brown has fallen back to 5th. Then it's Lauren Arthofer and Brad Smales.
Deneen putting the pressure on Nurmi over in turn number 2. Deneen takes a peek to the inside. Is that Mustang very, very quick. Right now, a little bit of bumper tag as they go into the turn. Nurmi holds on. Scott Nurmi holds on to that lead with Deneen in 2nd. Coyle in 3rd. Lamoureux's already worked his way up to 4th.
Well, he does have some damage that's going to have to be repaired. He's not up there with the lead duo, but he was able to clear some traffic to get there into position number 4. Our most recent feature winner, putting a lot of pressure on our race leader. These two have some history, not all nice, but they're at the halfway point, and it's good to see some green laps run off in consecutive fashion here tonight.
Well, as they go down the backstretch heading into turn number 3, less than a car length between your leaders. As they come into the turn, Deneen right around the bottom edge of the speedway. Keeps that car pinched right down. Nurmi letting it run a little free and wide over in the turns. Let's see who's the better of it as they go over in turn 2.
Well, while that battle for the lead is going on, the battle remains for position number 4. Lamoureux has the spot. Last year's track champion Joe Brown right there with Jim. They're separated by less than a car length as they cross the stripe here and put lap number 6 on the scoreboard with 2 laps to go.
Battles continue for the top spot as they come down into turn number 3. Again, Deneen trying the same move. Nurmi not biting as the white flag is out. The lead pair goes thundering by. Billy Coyle running by himself in 3rd. Here's the friends, Joe Brown and Jim Lamoureux. Joe Brown goes by. Lamoureux up the track, gets out from underneath him, and doesn't look like he kissed that wall, but he came close.
This looks like there was the slightest bit of contact between the two.
Well, we see a 26 of Brad Knapp already smoking out there. Now, sometimes that can be just a little bit too much oil in the system, so we're going to see how he does for a lap. If he continues to smoke, he will receive the black flag from Gary Polka as the green flag flies are underway. And already we see Brad Knapp pulling down to the inside. No power underneath the right foot of Brad Knapp as they go into turn number 1. Brad still continuing to lose power, smoking heavily now down the backstretch. Meanwhile, Guy Summers, the true rookie to racing, is out front, gets it out of shape, has it collected. He's got it corrected. Yeah! What a job by Guy Summers.
Well, what a job. Unfortunately, the process of that overcorrection, it ate up all of the lead that he had over Bob Ripley. So Ripley taking over the top spot in car number 99. It's the 59 of Chris Bennett running in the 3rd spot, and Robert Fink from the Nanticoke area of Pennsylvania rounding out the top 4.
You still see a lot of the smoke from the Brad Knapp car hanging on the backstretch. The 23 of Snell, Dusty Snell, also low and slow. Meanwhile, Bob Ripley, when he left the track here 2 weeks ago, the whole rear end of that car was accordioned up. You can just see the work that he does. He's the guy that owns that replica Valiant that used to be driven by Jeffrey Bodine. So he knows how to handle the sheet metal. He's got that car out there. He's running strong. Summers in 2nd now, getting challenged from Fink. They go down into turn number 3. Fink can't make the charge. Summers still in 2nd. And remember, Guy Summers, he has never raced until this season. So really, 6 times out is all he's had.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job. The car's bobbling, and that's just something that's going to come for him in the overcorrection issue. Robert Fink, though, has an issue trying to get around him because you just don't know where a young rookie driver is going to head next. Got to send a word out to Brad Knapp. Your heart aches for that guy. He's here week in and week out trying to just race some races and just has motor problems here every single week. And down here in the flagger stand, Gary Folk has the flags ready to give Mr. Ripley the indication there's 2 laps to go. Yeah,
your heart goes out to it because when you have continuous problems week after week after week, the fun goes out of it. And Robert Fink at the stripe goes by for the top spot. And we've got a yellow flag out as the 59 of Chris Bennett has spun over in turn number 4. So they're lined up side by side, 2 by 2, ready to go to wind down heat number 1 as, nope, no green flag. They weren't side by side when they hit that box. White checkers coming at you as Robert Fink. They start side by side. Robert just a little bit quicker to the gas, and Bob Ripley just not coming up to speed quick enough as Guy Summers now side by side with Ripley for that second spot, and Summers has it to go down into turn number 3.
Ripley's staying with him, and it looks like both of them getting into some, I don't know if there's something on the track up there or not, or they just lost the handle of the car for a moment, but Chris Bennett now has a shot at taking over position number 3, while our leader, Robert Fink, for the final time, heads into turn number 3.
Well, you got a couple drivers with not quite as much experience as some of the others, and getting used to the changes that happen at this track. Checker flag is out, and picking up his very first Shangri-la 2 checker flag is a 78 of Robert Fink. Ripley finishing in the second spot. Bob Ripley finishes there in the 2. Finishing in the 3, Guy Summers finishing in the 4th spot. It is a 59 of Chris Bennett. As we get ready to go, it is the 14 of Jake Snell, bringing them down off of turn number 4. Here they come, and the green flag is out. We are underway. Gil Sharpstein and Jake Snell leading them down into turn number 1.
Well, the brothers Zacharias didn't sit there side by side for long because Chris broke away. And speaking of braking, it looks like the 14 of Jake Snell broke over there in turn number 2. Everybody taking some evasive action to not plow into the 14. But leader of our first lap is Gil Sharpstein. Chris Zacharias right there in second spot. RJ Zacharias coming along in third. Chris taking a peek topside. It's been Chris Zacharias who's provided us with a lot of nostalgic moments here, bringing back some side-by-side racing memories from the old Shangri-La days. And Chris is staying there. Oops, brother RJ is there on the inside.
Well, family feud taking place over in turn number 1, and whoa, Chris spins over in turn number 2.
Well, 2 laps of 8 have been completed, and our field coming off turn number 4, and they reach that restart spot. Gil Sharpstein and RJ Zacharias side by side into turn number 1. RJ's going to duck in behind Gil.
Everybody quickly getting single file down that backstretch as they head down towards turn number 3. RJ up on Gil's back bumper as they try for position off of turn number 4. It's going to be Gil Sharpstein holding on to the lead.
And the top 4 pulling away from Danielle Buchek a little bit. RJ took a peek inside the 6 and 7/8, going through 1 and 2. Ducked in back behind him again. So we got two car battles up at the front of the field as RJ goes to work on our leader, Chris Zacharias, going to work on Mike Nichols right here at the halfway point.
Well, and Chris was trying high. Nichols goes high. Chris taking a look down low, and they continue nose to tail. 2 distinct groups up there, each separated by 2 car lengths as they go down towards turn number 3 once again. This will complete lap number 5. 5 laps in the books. Gil Sharpstein with the race lead.
Got a lot of brothers competing in our street stock division, and again, Mike Nichols making Chris Zacharias really think about this one. He went up high, Chris dove down low. He's got a run on him. Not quite sure he can claim that inside lane, and looks like Mike Nichols is going to give him the room he needs. So for one Zacharias brother anyway, looks like the strategy and the wait paid off as Chris has taken over third spot. RJ still going to work on Gil, finding nothing over there in 2.
Well, Chris really didn't give Mike Nichols any chance to hold that position over there as he really got down in there going into turn number 3. But RJ just cannot get the run. Gil protecting the bottom. White flag out. Gil Sharpstein with a car length advantage over RJ Zach. They head over into turn number 2. Gil drifts up. RJ peeks underneath. Can't get by as they come off of turn number 2. RJ going for it in turn number 3.
Well, there was a little bit of contact between the 2 over there in 2, and RJ did back off. This one's going to stay the way it's been with Gil Sharpstein picking up the win. RJ finishing in second. Chris Zacharias third. And Mike Nichols in fourth. Danielle Buchek right here rounding out the top five. Then it's the 7-8F of Aaron Higgins from Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. And Chris Conrad has opted to start at the back of the field in this one, so enabled everybody else to move up a spot. And our field goes into turn number one. Off turn number two, they're side by side, almost three wide. Jeff Goodwin looking at possibly doing that, thought better of it. Charlie Sharpstein trying to match brother Gil's performance, and it's going to be Charlie that's going to lead lap number one with younger brother Lee running in second.
Jeff Goodwin now battles with Snell as they go over in turn number one. They're side by side over in turn number two. Joe Snell holding that inside groove outside. It's Jeff Goodwin. Goodwin will take over third. Joe Snell back to fourth. Here comes Higgins in the fifth spot. Conrad running there in sixth. Right now, your race leader is Charlie Sharpstein. Lee looking to the high side over in turn one. High-low switch maybe could happen. No, as Charlie will hold on to the lead. Lee again goes in high. They go over into turn number three. Charlie holding a great line. Lee trying to diamond the corners. It comes off the turn, and he is still going to be the race leader. Charlie Sharpstein in that top spot.
Well, the brothers are still going at it over there, coming off turn number two. Lee takes a look down on the low side, takes his racing machine back up to the top side up there at three, so it's like anybody's guess if he's going to try low, try high. Car number 8 pretty well hooked up no matter where he chooses to run it. And Charlie just letting him do it. Charlie's running his race at the halfway point, leaving it all up to younger brother Lee to catch me and take over the lead if he can. Goodwin in third.
Well, Lee's trying everything he can right now to fake him out. Charlie just running a good, steady line. Starting to drift up in the turns a little bit. Lee's seeing that, trying to stay down low, but just cannot hook the car up as it washes up the track. Going down to turn number one, right on the back bumper as they set those cars working off of turn number two. And it's going to be Charlie still with the lead.
Well, you know, to talk about brotherly love, we saw it with earlier on, and when you got three brothers racing in the same class, sometimes you're going to race, sometimes you're going to rub. Robin's racing, and 2 laps to go. Charlie and Lee Sharpstein, they are running side by side now through turns 1 and off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Slight edge for Lee as he enters turn 3.
Lee Sharpstein up high, Charlie down low. Charlie still will hold that top spot at the white flag. It's Charlie Sharpstein and Lee down into turn number 1.
Well, you know, you watch Charlie as he drives past us here down below us, and it's like he's completely unfazed by any of this. So he's doing just exactly what you said, Tom. He's just driving his race, and he's leaving Lee to get around him if he can. It's all about turn number 4 and who's got the horsepower to get to 1. And tonight, it's Charlie Sharpstein.
Wow, great race. Charlie holding off Lee there at the stripe by half a car length. Finishing third was Jeff Goodwin, finishing fourth. Joe Snell finishing fifth. Aaron Higgins, but...
And our field reaches turn number 4. Ray Robbins pointing out the spot, and boy, we saw almost the same kind of move in the heat race earlier tonight where car number 10 of Brandon Amy just drove right around Frank Morich into turn number 1 and led the way down the back straightaway.
Well, Brandon, you know, again, very determined driver, just hasn't quite had the horses underneath his foot that he needed the last couple weeks. So right now that car looking good. Frank Morich there in the second spot, and in third it's Jeff Amy. Now Jeff, again, had some motor woes 2 weeks ago, but he still won. Had a lot of smoke. Now I'm not seeing the smoke, but not seeing some of the horsepower that he had before. But right now it is Brandon Amy still holding on to the top spot.
Well, he got a good run on that opening lap that took him and put a little bit of space between him and Frank Morich, because Frank and Jeff are staying about the way they were in their qualifying race, separated by about 2 car lengths. So the two need to run down that number 10 of Brandon Amy. This time by it'll be 3 laps of 10 complete.
Brandon stretching it out. 10 car lengths is the advantage for car number 10 over to 94 of Frank Morich. Morich and Jeff Amy running nose to tail, working off turn number 2. They head down the backstretch. They come down off the turn. That's 4 laps complete for Brandon Amy. As they work off the turn. Same distance between Frank Morich and Jeff Amy as they continue down towards turn number 3. Jeff now picks it up. Ooh, gets himself out of shape. Collects it, spins it, stays off the wall. Good job for Jeff Amy. Caution at halfway. 5 laps down, 5 to go as Jeff Amy got in there just a little hot as the field gets ready to come to life again off of turn number 4. Here they come. The green flag is out. We're racing once again. Morich trying to stay right with Brandon Amy, and he can't as they get down to turn number 1, but Jeff Amy trying to follow through on the inside. Morich trapped up high. Jeff goes by low. So it's Brandon with the big numbers, number 10. Little numbers 10 is going there in the second spot, or the 10X. Easiest way to tell is by the big number and the little number as they come off the turn. 6 laps of 10 now complete. It's Brandon Amy. He's led since the drop of the green flag. And they continue. They're all spaced about evenly now. 5 car lengths separating each of those cars as they work their way off of turn number 4. 7 down and 3. It's going to be Brandon Amy with that top spot. Jeff Amy in second. Frank Morich in third. As they continue the battle down through the track. Everybody just kind of running their own line right now with the twin sticks up. 2 to go for Brandon Amy. Budget Pizza, the title sponsor of the 4-cylinder division here in 2012. Brandon Amy takes it down low side into turn number 3. He's going to be looking at the white flag. For the 3rd time this season, Brandon Amy takes that white flag down off into turn number 1. Jeff Amy's there in the second spot, and Jeff's got a lot of real estate to collect in. I do not think he's going to have time to do it. As they come down towards turn number 3, it is the 10 of Brandon Amy. Coming off turn number 4 for the 3rd time this year. Checkered flag in the air for Brandon Amy. Jeff Amy finishes in second with Frank Morich finishing in third. And Brandon Amy out of the car, his 3rd win of the year.
There you go. That's something to cool you off. Well, you know, you and your brother, we talk about this while you're racing, that you guys are perfect here in Victory Lane. He had a little trouble, brought out the caution with a spin up there, but you had no trouble. Qualifying and your feature, you got around Frank in turn 1. It was history after that.
Yeah, this car really turns getting into turn 1, and you know, that run on the high side is really fast, so I just get the jump and get down in the corner first.
You guys were a little closer, the 3 of you, I'm talking. Here comes your brother for a hug. You guys got a little friendly battle going, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. See who can win in what weeks. We're having a lot of fun with it. You know, I know there's only 3 cars here. We'd like to thank George and Amy for bringing the mini stocks up. We are trying to get a hold of some more mini stock guys to get them up here. You know, we don't want this class to die. It's a fun class to race, and you know, we just come out here and put on a good show for everybody.
Seems like the 4-cylinders are struggling a lot of places. You know, even down at the track I'm at on Friday night, our numbers are way down. I don't understand it because it is fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an entry-level class. There's not a lot of money in these cars, but we're just trying to get more people out there in racing. You know, if anybody wants help, get a hold of us. We're willing to work with you and get you a good setup. We want more cars.
Final question, the folks you want to thank.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, all my friends and family, everybody that puts time and effort in this car and in the 10X. You know, it's a big team thing, a big family thing, and we love to have fun with it.
Well, congratulations, Brandon, on win number 3. And they celebrate in Victory Lane, and he's getting a cold drink the other way.
Let's see how we do as they come to life in turn number 4. The green flag is out. We are racing sportsman style as they go down to turn number 1, and a couple of young lions up front. Zach Kern on the high side trying to get the best of the rookie Tyler Ripkema, but Ripkema hanging right in there 2 by 2 as they go into turn number 3.
Well, Ripkema shot into turn number 3, and right behind them it was Jeff Frisbee going around. Zach Curran spun. Not sure what happened to Zach. I don't think there was any contact with anybody over there.
The front row now will be Tyler Ripkema in the 32, Jeff Frisbee in the 2 as they come to life in turn number 4. Keep your eyes on the starter as the green flag is out. A little reluctantly, but the green flag did fly as they work their way over into turn number 2. Ripkema with the lead. Frisbee in second, Wilbur in third, Zach Kern on the inside of Tony Hanbury as they go for position in turn 4.
Well, John Wilbur already taking a peek to the inside, now looks to the outside of Jeff Frisbee. He sits in third spot, doesn't want to let Tyler Ripkema get too far ahead. Wilbur now off turn number 2, he's up alongside of Frisbee briefly, he'll tuck back in. Here comes Tom Shiner right behind him. So, again, Wilbur trying to go to work on Jeff Frisbee, not finding what he needs at the entrance to turn 1.
They work over in turn number 2. Wilbur down low, Frisbee up high, Wilbur alongside. Here can they come down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, on the march is the 94, Curran. He's now side by side with Shiner, dispatches him, sets his sights on Tony Hanbury in fourth, but Hanbury has his sights on Frisbee, who's running third.
Well, a little tap to him over there as they reach turn number 2. Jeff kept his line. Tony is the pursuer in that battle. The other pursuer is John Wilbur, and he has caught our leader, Tyler Ripkema. Wilbur's going to peek to the inside off turn number 2. Ripkema's going to slam the door on him up there in turn number 1. 2 great battles for positions 1, 2, and 3, 4. John Wilbur puts the chrome machine down underneath Tyler Ripkema. We saw this in their heat race. Ripkema is going to fend off the challenge on this particular lap. No change among the top 4, and Zach Curran has now put himself into 5th. He's trying to reel in those two-car battles.
Well, they keep that battle going, and John Wilbur, we talked earlier to him, he's looking to get up front. He's there. He's just as fast as everybody else, but just cannot seem to get the move he needs as he's right on the back bumper of Tyler Ripkema. Ripkema working off at turn number 2. Hanbury works up high as his car working by. Here comes Wilbur to the inside, but Ripkema drives it hard and deep into the turn, breaks a little bit later than everybody else, and he's going to hold on to that top spot. Wilbur literally on the back bumper of Ripkema down into turn 1.
Well, while John Wilbur does some offensive action trying to get the race lead, right behind them is Tony Hanbury, who worked the outside to get around Jeff Frisbee and take over position number 3. So Tony Hanbury's car is hooked up well on the outside. He's going to leave John Wilbur down there to battle on the low groove, and he's going to take over that spot, or at least try to with a run off turn 2.
They battle side by side down the backstretch into turn number 3. This is lap number 8 action coming to you from Shangri-la 2 Motor Speedway off of turn number 4. Tyler Ripkema, the rookie, leading a couple of veterans. John Wilbur in the 4, Tony Hanbury in the 31. Teammates for the lead in turn number 2, and lightning strikes here at Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway. Tony Hanbury takes over the top spot here on lap number 10.
Well, John Wilbur thought maybe he could try the same move that Tony Hanbury pulled off. Hanbury's car is hooked up to run up there. John Wilbur's car has run better on the low groove, but he's not been able to seal the deal. He's had a good run on Ripkema, but when they approach turn number 3 or 1, Ripkema's been able to slam the door on him, keeping him at bay.
Well, they continue this battle down the front stretch into turn number 1. 0.3 of a second is the advantage of Tony Hanbury over his teammate and rookie Tyler Ripkema. Here comes Wilbur, closing right back in on Ripkema. That battle continues for second as they work through the south end of the speedway off turn number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th continues. Jeff Frisbee has it. Zach Curran wants it. Curran all over Frisbee in turn number 2. They go off the turn down the backstretch, single file down into turn number 3 and 4. Lap traffic will now start to come into play here at halfway.
Well, if you recall earlier this evening in qualifying, as our field reaches the halfway point, Heat Racing was missing car number 31. He had a transmission issue. They went to work during that time leading up to this feature, and well, a lap car got in the way of John Wilbur. He tapped him in the back there. It cost him a lot of room between himself and Mr. Ripkema, but he's gone back to work, regrouped, and he's got it to within a car length now of the second place car.
Veteran move by Tyler Ripkema. He used the slower car as a pick, broke Wilbur's progression, and now Wilbur has to get that momentum back again. Meanwhile, Zach Curran still locked in a tight battle with Jeff Frisbee. They're nose to tail for fourth. Your lead pair up there, your battle for second continues with Ripken and Frisbee. Oh, good night. Frisbee breaks going into turn number one. Curran, no place to go. Zach Curran getting into the back of him, but Frisbee was already gone. That car, something broke going down into turn number one. So Zach Curran and Jeff Frisbee were in a battle for position, but Frisbee's car broke down to the inside, sending it up the track. He was able to scrub off a bunch of speed before he got up there.
And set to go here for the restart with Tony Hanberry and Tyler Ripkema in row number one. And Ripkema getting sent back a couple spots as Zach Curran moves up one position. John Wilbur now right on the back deck of leader Tony Hanberry. Curran running in the third spot, Shiner in fourth, and Chris Finichario rounding out the top five. Laps are winding down in our 25-lap feature event. Tony Hanberry, John Wilbur, Zach Curran. We've only had two different feature winners this year so far. It's been Jimmy Zacharias and Tony Hanberry, the only two who have tasted that sweet taste of victory. John Wilbur looking to the inside off turn number four. Hanberry's going to slam the door on him here at the start-finish line. Nearly three wide. And Shiner coming down on Finichario. He spins over here in turn number one. That could have been a whole lot worse as both Shiner and Ripkema were there. 8 machines set to do battle for the final, let's see, what, about 7 laps to go when we get the green here. Gary Folk Jr. once again eyeing him up off turn number four. And Zach Curran trying to get up there and take over second spot. He's to the inside of John Wilbur. Tony Hanberry out in front. Curran to the inside. Wilbur on the outside in their battle for second spot. And while they're battling side by side, Tony Hanberry is beginning to check out. Curran with a blast midway through the corners, and Zach Curran now up to second spot. A little bit of contact with John Wilbur. Wilbur's applying the chrome horn when he can to Zach Curran. He's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. This time by, there'll be 4 laps remaining in our 25-lap feature. Tyler Ripkema maintaining 4th position with Finichario in 5th. Best battle on the track is the one for second spot, held by Zach Curran, wanted back by John Wilbur. 22 laps of 25 up on the board. The sticks go in the air from our head flagger, who's watching and flagging at the same time. Off turn number 4, Tony Hanberry will be the first to get that signal. There's 2 laps remaining. John Wilbur looking high, looking low, not finding what he needs. He's going to try and get a run off turn number 2. And Curran's going to slam the door on him over there in turn number 3. It all boils down to the final half of mile in this feature event, and still the battle wages on for the second spot. Hanberry in command of this one. Tony Hanberry, whose night started off problematic, whose crew went to work between the heats and the features, did their homework, and Tony Hanberry pulls into victory lane. Zach Curran with his best finish ever, finishing in the runner-up spot with a nice pass on John Wilbur after that restart. Wilbur will finish this one in 3rd. 4th to Tyler Ripkema, and first time here ever, Chris Finichario involved in that last caution, and he rallied back for a top 5 finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, a three-time feature winner, Tony Hanbury. Tony getting the congratulations from the most important piece of his racing family, his wife and his young daughter, and Dean Rivka putting Mackenzie up on top. And Tony, we talked a little bit earlier, and that car was strong.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I knew once I get out and run my own line, I was going to be all right. It just, if I got to stay down or somebody on the outside of me, it slows me down quite a bit. And, you know, I've heard the last couple of years Jimmy up here and all his smart-ass comments and everything, and I think it's my house now.
Ooh, it sounds like we can have a throwdown next race. So, you've done a great job. The two of you are tied. You're neck and neck, 3-3 this year. So, sounds like we do have room for a throwdown.
Yeah, you know, Jimmy and I mean, he's going to be here Thursday night. It's going to be a hell of a race. Hope everybody's going to come here to watch. We're getting better and better every week. Have a good night tonight. Both Dean's cars finished. They're one piece. We're going to push them in the trailer, not have to work on them. It was a good night. I got to thank Dean for, you know, he spends a lot of money to put Tyler and I in this position, and I got to thank him.
Well, congratulations, 3 wins. Congratulations to Rivka Motorsports for 3 wins this season.
Thank you.
Tony Hanbury, a 3-time winner here this season.
Gary Folk eyeing them up there in turn number 4. They reach that starting spot. The green is out. And a good start for Billy Coyle and Scott Nurmi. Who's going to lead the way off turn number 2? And around goes Joe Brown already over there in turn number 2. I don't believe they had any contact with anybody. I think he just kind of ran out of room. Again, it's Billy Coyle and Scott Nurmi in row number 1. It was anybody's guess who was going to lead off too on that original start, but that doesn't matter anymore. We're back to this one. This is the one that does matter. And already into turn number 1, it's Scott Nurmi who is out in front. He's going to lead them off turn number 2 down the back straightaway with Billy Coyle now in a battle with Deneen for second. Deneen running that outside groove as Coyle is hugging the inside apron of the track, and Deneen makes the pass. Jerry Deneen in that sharp Ford Mustang, brand new machine for him. He's going to make a move on Scott Nurmi if he can. They touch coming off 2, and Deneen is sideways. Everybody's coming along, and man, oh man, I'm surprised that one wasn't a whole lot worse.
Wow, some great driving out there by our late model drivers, because Jerry Deneen was a sitting duck.
Oh, a lot of those cars were involved, or at least slowed for that wreck over there, so we go with what we got. And we got
a green, so we're not going to argue with it. We're going off at turn number 2. Nurmi ahead of Art Hoffer. Here comes Lamoureux to the inside of Art Hoffer. Challenge for second as they go into turn number 3. Lamoureux sticks it right at the bottom edge of the speedway, forcing Art Hoffer up the hill. And Lamoureux takes over second. Nurmi's still your leader. Art Hoffer dropping now a position to Joe Brown, who's worked his way back up through. And here comes Jerry Deneen. He has really got a steam going right now as he closes in on the back bumper of Brown. All top 6 cars running nose to tail.
Well, everybody with a racing partner right now, with the exception of the 84, the last couple cars on the field here. And Jim Lamoureux stay about a car length behind our leader, Scott Nurmi. The gap between the 3rd and 4th place cars widened to about 3 car lengths at the entrance to turn 3. Deneen low on the racetrack as Brownie goes high, and those positions swap. So Jerry Deneen now looking to maybe pick up 2 in a row.
Well, Joe Brown pushed up high going into turn number 3, and that's what cost him that position. Here comes Deneen. He's on the hunt. He's caught. The Blues Brothers Auto, the car number 37. That's Jim Lamoureux's ride as they go down into turn number 1. 2 Chevys and a Ford going to do battle off of turn number 2.
And off turn 2 they go with Scott Nurmi in command of this one. Lamoureux still there in second spot. The top 3 separated by about equal margins between them as Lamoureux continues to try and inch closer, but the one that's inching closer is the 11. Jerry Deneen, he's got a rocket ship there, and he's trying to see what he has for Jim Lamoureux.
0.2 of a second separating each of the top 3 drivers as they come off this time. to complete lap number 7. 7 of 25 in the books as they go down towards turn number 1. Deneen all over Lamoureux as they work off turn number 2. Lamoureux in the 37, Deneen in the 11, Joe Brown in the 15, but the lead is the white car, the Ghost, the car number 20 of Scott Nurmi.
Well, you know, he said he prefers his other car, which he expects to have back, as you mentioned. This one's looking mighty fine here right now, and again, nobody's really put a challenge on him. Early on, there was a little bit of a challenge from Lamoureux, but they could be waiting. Race car drivers really don't wait for much, though. And Lamoureux, if he's waiting, he's got a whole back mirror full of Jerry Deneen.
Well, Jerry Deneen driving it in so hard, he's starting to bottom out just a little bit. And what that's doing is compressing, is using all that suspension system, getting that car as low to the ground as he can for maximum speed. And he's closing right in on Lamoureux. Now, Jim Lamoureux historically sets his car up for lap 12 on in a race. Here we go with the pressure from Jerry Deneen. Let's have to see if Lamoureux has to use it up a little bit sooner.
Well, it looks like Lamoureux slower a little bit through the corners. And on that last pass through 1 and 2, Jerry Deneen did catch him and tap him just a bit. Certainly nothing intentional. But now look at the gap between the three of them. It's down to less than 2 car lengths between first and second, and here comes Brownie.
Joe Brown on the hunt. He's closed in. Look at that equal distance between each of those top 4 cars. They get down to turn number 1. Deneen on the back bumper of Lamoureux. Lamoureux a half a car length behind Nurmi as they go down the backstretch, heading into turn number 3. They set the cars in the middle of the turn. Here comes Deneen again. He's closing in, but just can't get that bite coming off that he needs.
Well, Scott Nurmi's car is really hooked up well here tonight. Lamoureux, like you said, from lap 12 on, we're coming up on lap number 12, we're on lap 14 right now. But Lamoureux's car does seem to want to just move a little quicker now.
He's getting a little bit more aggressive. He's going down. He's looking at that low groove each and every pass, and he's about a half a car width lower in the turn than Scott Nurmi is as they work off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Your lead 4 just separated by 0.7 of a second as they work off the turn. Here comes Nurmi, followed by Lamoureux. Then further back, you got Billy Coyle kind of running a race all to himself, getting the car shook down. As they work off the turn, Nurmi continues to hold on. 16 laps down, just 9 laps to go. And Nurmi's starting to push up, exiting the turn just a little bit. Lamoureux in second. Here is third place, Jerry Deneen. Deneen, half a car length behind, closes right in. Put a piece of paper between the 2 bumpers. That's all the room you got. And then Lamoureux pulls away by a car length as they hit the home stretch. Lauren Arthofer slowing with that car number 71. So problems with Lauren Arthofer. Josh Lloyd out there continuing to run in the car number 84 as well. Josh Lloyd is back in the 6th spot. Up front, though, Jerry Deneen, Joe Brown, Jim Lamoureux, all trying to share the same real estate. Found out that can't happen as bumper tag took place, but still they keep their positions as they come off the turn. 19 down, 6 to go. Nurmi out front, Lamoureux for 2, Deneen for 3, Brown for 4. Coyle has caught this bunch. Now it's a 5-car dance, but it's pulling away right now is the 20 of Scott Nurmi with 5 to go. Gary Folk Jr. giving a big wave of 5 fingers to Scott Nurmi. Nurmi determined to get back to victory lane, a place he hasn't been in quite some time here at Shangri-La 2. He works down in the turn. Joe Brown and Jerry Deneen still trying to work over Jim Lamoureux. Lamoureux trying to hold on to second. Deneen really working him over. That's allowing Nurmi to pull away with no pressure. The lead for Scott Nurmi, 2 seconds over Jim Lamoureux. Throw a blanket over these next 4 cars. That's how close they're running as they go down in the turn. Deneen really low. Lamoureux running about a groove off the bottom, opening it up, but just not enough for Jerry Deneen. Joe Brown right there, he's waiting for one of these guys to do something, Make a move, do something, give me some racing room. And here's Brown taking a look to the inside. Denny closes the door in 3. Billy Coyle's caught up. 4 cars throw a blanket over them. It looks like they're hooked together, but they're not. They go into the turn. They just cannot get by Jim Lamoureux. White flag was displayed to Scott Nurmi. 2nd through 5th still up for grabs as they go down off turn 2. Down the backstretch. Brown on the back bumper of Deneen. Here they come off turn number 4, the win for Scott Nurmi, his first of the year. 2nd will go to Jim Lamoureux. Deneen for 3rd. Brown for 4th. Billy Coyle for 5th. And Josh Lloyd will finish in the 6th spot. What a race for the late models. The late model lineup for the finishing order is complete. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Nurmi, his first win of the season.
Come on over here, Scott. Enjoy that drink. You know, this isn't a bad run here for a backup car. You said the other one's going to be better, but you really were the class of field here tonight.
Well, yeah, I didn't think we were going to do too good tonight, but I'll take it. In practice, the car really wasn't that great.
Well, practice isn't when it counts. When it counts is now. You pulled away. There was really no competition in the last 5-6 laps. Second on back, they were nose to tail, but you were out there.
Well, I like to hear that. We made a few adjustments after the warm-up, so I guess they're the right one.
Got to be a special moment for your son over here, too. He comes with you every week, and glad you've made Shangri-La 2 home.
Oh, yeah, we love it here. George and Amy and everybody just treats us so good. And I got to thank my wife and Ryan and my brother Jeff. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be here.
How about some sponsors on the car?
On the Mark, he letters the car, Superior Home Improvement, and just a few of my friends help out every now and then.
Hot night, boy, you got a lot of sweat on your forehead. You really earned this one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to do so good tonight, but I'll take it.
He'll take it. This is for you. Our winner, Scott Nurmi! And the field begins to tighten up as they approach the starting spot up there in turn number 4. Gary Folk Jr. letting the green flag fly, and our final event of the night underway. And, boy, we got some close competitive racing going into turn number 1. Everybody sorts themselves out, and they're all chasing the 6 and 7/8 of Gil Sharpstein.
Lee Sharpstein making a break down the inside of the speedway, running side by side with Bob Ripley. He's down low, trying to make some moves while he can. Meanwhile, Brother Gill shoots away up front. He's got R.J. Zacharias chasing him down into turn number 1. That's a battle we've already seen tonight, and it's just repeating itself.
Well, right behind them, the battle is over as Joe Snell went a little bit high in turn number 2. Opened up that inside lane for Charlie Sharpstein. So car number 34 about to take over position number 3, and he does as they come over to number 4, putting lap number 2 up on the scoreboard.
Chris Zacharias and Jeff Goodwin getting together here on the home stretch, trading a little paint. And both drivers keep the cars going, but we'll have to keep our eyes on that little incident. Meanwhile, up front, RJ putting the moves on Gil as they come off of turn number 4. 3 laps in the books. Gil Sharpstein has led them all.
And, boy, he has a close competitor there, R.J. Zacharias in the other backup car for him. And Chris Zacharias going high over there in 2. It started in 1. By the time he got to 2, both Lee Sharpstein and Jeff Goodwin had cleared him, so Zacharias, Chris, falling back 2 positions.
And remember, Chris Zacharias had motor problems or some kind of a problem overheating when he was out in the heat race. But we've got caution out on the speedway as we've got a car down around the inside that looks like the 33 of Guy Summers. Again, Summers started up in the top 5 and quickly fell back through the field. Tough break for the rookie.
4 of 25 laps complete. Green is back out. Gil Sharpstein and R.J. Zacharias taking this race into turn number 1, side by side through the corners. Gil is going to break away and try and bring brother Charlie along. Right now, Charlie's to the inside of R.J. Zacharias. We saw that earlier on. Charlie trying to stay low. Little bit of contact behind them. It's Chris Zacharias. And looks like Lee Sharpstein. You called it, Tom.
Well, the bad blood was starting to boil just before that last caution came out. And it happened, and you take 10 cars, put them in the same turn, and somebody's going to have not too pleasant outcome.
5 laps into our 25-lap street stock feature here at Shangri-La 2 Motor Speedway. We are going back to racing, and maybe not. And we've got a spin up there in turn number 4.
And that's that 78F machine of Aaron Higgins.
Oh, I was wrong. There was no caution as he was well off into the
oh, no, that's Robert
field.
Fink. I'm sorry.
That's Robert Fink who has spun again. But our leader remains Gil Sharpstein, and he is being pursued, as he was earlier, by the 71 of R.J. Zacharias. Charlie Sharpstein still sitting in 3rd spot, and trouble in turn number 2.
Well, trouble in turn number 2, second time for Lee Sharpstein. This time, Lee Sharpstein and Brad Knapp getting together over in turn number 2. They're closed up nicely coming into turn number 3. Getting set to pick up the pace. And looks like Gilbert and RJ hit that line. We're racing once again as they head off to turn number 1. Gil and RJ side by side. Charlie and Jeff side by side as they work off turn number 2.
Well, it's 2 by 2. Into turn number 3 they go. RJ with a little bit of an advantage as they approach turn number 3. Let's see what happens at the stripe. RJ Zacharias, our leader. And Gil Sharpstein back to 2nd. Charlie is in 3rd. Then it's Jeff Goodwin and Joe Snell. Chris Zacharias running in position number 6. Right behind him, it's the 31 of Mike Nichols.
Well, Chrissy Z doing a great job recovering from that first caution incident and also recovering from car problems during the heats. Further back, Lee Sharpstein and Danielle Buchek getting together here on the home stretch. That won't go over very well in the holler afterwards. And now they get themselves separated. So back down into turn number 1 they go. R.J. Zacharias, he was a 5-time street stock champion down at the original Shangri-La. And he's showing right now why he was. He's got a car underneath him, and he's got the freedom to run his line. And right now, Gil Sharpstein can't do anything with him.
Well, Chris Zacharias has moved into 6th place and thought he was going to take over 5th. He had a run on Joe Snell up there in turn number 2, but not quite able to pull it off. So Chris Zacharias has his sights set on the front of the pack, or at least for now, getting into the top 5. No change among the top 4, but 5th right now being contested.
Back up front, challenge for 5th going on over in turn number 3. Joe Snell getting a challenge from Chris Zacharias, who is all kinds of loose on the outside. Car twitching all over the place. He stays up on the high side. Challenges Snell for 5th as they go into turn number 2.
Snell on the low side, Zacharias on the outside. He's actually run a lot further than everybody else in the last month because it's a little bit further around, though not much, when you're on the outside lane. And that's where that number 7 has been hooked up to run nearly a dead heat as they cross the stripe that time by. But look at Gil Sharpstein. He has closed the gap on Zacharias. Once again, it's down to just about 3 feet as they head into turn 3.
Gil Sharpstein right there looking to pounce, waiting for RJ to make a mistake. Not going to happen as they're both running in the identical tire tracks. And the advantage for RJ Zacharias, 0.3 of a second as he goes down into turn number 1. Charlie Sharpstein still there in the 3rd spot. Jeff Goodwin a ways back and forth, and talking to Jeff earlier, they've been just working on the car for a solid month, trying to get it back to where it was, but they keep getting involved in some of these incidents. And here we go again. We talked about these cars fighting each other on the track. The 7 of Chris Zacharias, the 05 of Jeff Goodwin. They've found each other once again.
Well, let's see what happens this time by, because Gil Sharpstein has also found R.J. Zacharias. Now there's a intense battle going on right now for the top spot as lap number 15 of 25 is going to click off this time by. Zacharias is able to maintain the race lead, but Gil wants it back. They're going to have the lap car of Chris Conrad just ahead of them. So let's see if the lap car, the green machine, has any effect on the outcome of this event.
Well, we've got one car expiring down there in the turn. That is the 33, a Guy Summers. He's pit side. But right now, down in turn number 1, the 6th machine is down there. They tried to use it for a pick. It didn't work. And Chris Conrad pulls down low. And we've got a yellow flag coming out on the racetrack.
Well, it's one of the 78s. I believe it might be Robert.
Charlie Sharpstein starts in third. Remember, it was Gil Sharpstein that broke Lee's win streak last year. As they come to the green flag, we are racing once again.
Well, it's R.J. Zacharias that wants to break the Sharpstein domination here at the racetrack. So R.J. with a run off turn number 2, trying to maintain that top spot. He's kind of surrounded by the Sharpsteins. Gil is committed to that outside stand right there. Brother Charlie is right there still in third spot. Fourth is the two cars that kind of find each other. And Chris now on the low side of the 05, and Goodwin's losing 1, 2, maybe 3 spots. Zacharias Chris now being challenged to the inside by the 8 of Lee Sharpstein. So Tom called it right. He said in a matter of about 2 laps, there'd be a bunch of about 4 or 5 cars there battling it out for the lead. 18 laps of 25 complete, and Lee Sharpstein in 4th position. It's the Zachariases making a sandwich out of the 3 Sharpsteins. Brothers, and oh brother, what an event we got going here. Right behind them, it's Jeff Goodwin and Joe Snell. Running in 6th and 7th, 8th is Mike Nichols. R.J. Zacharias, our leader. It's about a car length going into turn number 3. This time by Gary Folk's going to give him the high five. 5 laps remaining in our feature. Chris Zacharias trying to move up to 4th spot and takes it from Charlie Sharpstein. He'll drop back to 5th. So the brothers Sharpstein, Gill, and Lee right now running 2nd and 3rd to R.J. Zacharias. 4 laps to go. And Lee trying to give a little tap, a brotherly tap to Gilbert, and he does over there off turn number 2. Nice recovery for car number 8 of Lee Sharpstein. This time by, there's 3 laps remaining. Chris Zacharias hanging on to position number 4. Charlie Sharpstein in 5th, and Jeff Goodwin in 6th. Gil Sharpstein trying to take back 2nd spot from Brother Lee. This time by, the old sticks are going to go parallel and see if there is any change in the top spot. R.J. Zacharias, our leader. Lee Sharpstein up on the outside, hoping momentum can carry him off turn number 2, and it does. A late race charge by Lee Sharpstein. Yellow coming out. We've got Bob Ripley spinning over there in turn number 2, so that lap was not scored. I could say the same 2 last names for row number 2. Let's see what we got here. 1 mile of racing remaining. Lee Sharpstein trying to be the first off turn number 2. RJ's right there. Gilbert Sharpstein running in the 3rd spot with Chris Zacharias to his right. Jeff Goodwin rounding out the top 5. This time by, they will see white. Lee Sharpstein, our leader, with R.J. Zacharias in 2nd. Working the outside, his older brother Chris. I think he's older. That is a place where Chris Zacharias has run so much this year, and this is a place where this guy has finished so much this year. Oh boy. Woo! Well, according to the electronic scoring I'm looking at, Gil Sharpstein finishing 2nd, R.J. Zacharias 3rd, Chris Zacharias 4th, Jeff Goodwin 5th.
And who needs the History Channel, Kevin Costner and Bill Paxton for Hatfields and McCoys? We got the Zachariases and Sharpsteins, and Lee Sharpstein picking up a win after an early race crash. off the bat, 3 cars going for the same piece of real estate. You get turned. You come back from the back of the pack, get spun a second time, go back to the back of the pack, and here we are in victory lane. How did this happen?
Man, it's these guys right here. Lee hooked it up. We were a little off in the heat race, and man, was it golden again. We got turned a couple times, but you're going to put us down for a little bit, but you're not going to keep us there.
This field has become so competitively. What is it that everybody is so competitive this year?
You know, everybody's starting to figure things out a little bit, and we just got ahead of the game, and they're catching up. But, man, that was awesome. I can't believe it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, and I hope you appreciated that one. That was for you guys. Everybody that works all week long and then pays money to come here to watch the race, this is for you.
And the best, some of the best of that in the last couple laps happened in your rearview mirror, 3 wide across the stripe.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was nuts out there tonight. People turning right, people turning left. I mean, it was a circus, and I'm glad we came out on top on this one. This one's for these guys right here. They busted their butts tonight. I mean, I can't believe it.
I don't have a 5-second delay on your jaw, you know. Thursday night, quick turnaround for this team now. You got a lot of work ahead of you. Are they up for it?
Oh, yeah, these guys right here, they've proven it the last 2 years. They're the best there is, and I'm glad I can prove it for them each and every week. And I can't thank that man right back there in the orange enough, Mike McDonald, and the Buchecks, and my friend John, and everybody that helps me. I mean, this was awesome tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Lee a big congratulations. You're 2-time and defending street stock champion.